Hey roosters, and welcome back to another video. I know you guys do not know this about me, but I'm a Gundam fan. I think it's pretty cool. Now, am I the highest level of fan of Gundam? No. I'm right between knowing absolutely nothing and knowing enough to say that I know something. I'm in that little area right between where you just get introduced to something to know that you like it, but really nothing beyond that. I watched the original series, I bought a couple Gumbla, and it's always been in the back of my head. Why doesn't Gundam get more tabletop releases? It's had a couple card games in the past, and it's getting a new one, or it's gotten a new one very recently. But I'm talking about something a little more in line with what Gundam's about, building robots. And I think today we might have what a lot of Gundam fans have been dreaming about, probably since they got into the genre or the series. A Gundam's miniatures game, and I want to tell you guys all about it, or rather, as much as we know for now. Okay, this is going to be the teaser trailer. I'm going to link this in the description for all you guys who want to go watch it yourselves, but I'm just going to quickly run through it. I'm going to pause it to talk about what I'm going to talk about. It's going to give a backdrop for my ramblings, and it's going to allow you to see what I'm talking about as I talk about it. So this is showing you some of the different models in the game. If you're really familiar with Gundam, I'm sure you're probably losing your mind right now. There's probably some of your favorite models. If you're somebody like me who only knows a couple of the generic ones like this one, the main Gundam, then maybe you're not as frothing at the mouth. But this shows one of the things I want to look at, which is the symbol. I think it's really cool. So it's a Gundam. It's a GA Gundam symbol, except the A that's line through both are the little crest on the Gundam's head. But what I really want to take a look at actually is what comes after that, which is this right here. So this gives us our first real look at what gameplay might look like. We see a lot of things that tells us a lot about the game off the bat. First off, we know it's a miniatures game, but miniature games come in a lot of different forms, shapes, and sizes. This miniatures game seems like it's going to be a lot more small scaled, which is more than fine by me. In fact, I prefer it over a bigger scale type miniatures game like a war game of something like that. So here we have a smaller map. A second thing you may notice immediately, hex tiles or hex-based movement it seems like. So that's going to be really important as well. Both these two things, both skirmish and hex-based movement, seem portray the idea and exude the theory that this is going to be a more new player friendly sort of miniatures game, because both of those things make playing the game a whole lot more simpler. It makes force building simpler when you only need to pick 3 to 5 models. It makes learning the game simpler when you can move across a hex-based map and terrain is already baked into the maps you're playing with and stuff like that. It makes it a whole lot more new player friendly, and also in my opinion it makes it a little more fun, but obviously that's just an opinion. What else do we see? We see the dice on the map. It seems to be D10s. By D10s, I mean 0 through 9, so D9s or whatever you call them. I don't think these are. Um, uh, I don't know if they're going to have 1 through 10 values on these, but these seem to be D10s. I've seen it's really not important. 10-sided dice is the point. Um, that seems to be here. And other than that, there's really nothing else here. I think probably we can assume that there'll be like cards off to the side that, or at least a sheet of paper that will tell you what your Gundams are capable of, their stats, their weapons, their abilities, their stuff like that. A lot of other miniature games do it, so I would assume it's here as well, but we don't see it. But other than the cards, which I would assume is here, it doesn't seem like there's anything else really important on the board. No tokens or anything like that. Nothing crazy. The board seems small. It seems to be 3 models per player because there only seems to be probably like 6 models on the map right now. 3 dice on the board, not a whole handful of dice being chucked around. Obviously, this is a trailer. This is made to just show something, and it can not at all really affect what gameplay is going to end up looking in the final version. But it seems like the game is keeping itself small scaled, opposed to a huge map, freaking kitchen table length boards, stuff that maybe at first glance to a new player of any miniatures game might make them take a step back and say, maybe this isn't for me. You see it moving around, showcasing the hex-based combat, showing some of the different uh, Gundam or Gunplas that you have access to within the game. But yeah, we just saw a zoom out shot there. It just in this particular shot, again, it's all studio made up, so probably not what a real game's gonna end up looking like. But there really does not seem to be much to this game. Again, I assume there'd be the cards or information sheets that you still need to play, or else how do you really know what you're doing? But again, seems really, really simple. Skipping to a different teaser trailer here. This is for the Gundam TCG, but it also shows a little things about the Gundam Assemble miniatures game as well that I want to take a look at. So it starts off by showing that you can use your Gundam miniatures as tokens in the Gundam TCG. You can bring them to the game and just like use them as standees and stuff like that, which I don't know if there's going to be importance to the game to use those miniatures for that, or if it's just something cool you can do if you have them. Say you're into the card game, you're not really into the symbols game, but you bought the minis, and so you can use them for that purpose as well. Here we see them assembling a Gundam assemble model, which is important. He doesn't seem to have any glue with him, which means that these Gundam assembled models are hopefully going to snap together like Gunplas do, and you're not going to have to use any glue to put them together. But this is also, you see here, something that's going to lead into my next point. I'm going to pause it when we get there officially. Here he just slides the head into place, and you can tell that the models just snap into place like Gunpla do. But here we see him painting the model, which brings me to the next point. These models are not going to be pre-painted, or at least not generally. They may still offer like pre-painted or pre-colored models, probably at a higher price than the normal models, which would actually be really cool if you're somebody who doesn't want to paint and rather just pay a little extra to get painted models. But you do have to paint the models probably in general, which is probably a good thing for me because I wanted to get into painting my own minis for a while now. Any game that I buy, any board game that comes with minis and that aren't painted, like Tokyo Clash or Marvel United, I end up just not painting them. Although Tokyo Clash minis are pretty cool, even if you don't paint them right out of the box. But generally, if I get a game and the models aren't painted, that's the way they're staying. Gundam Assemble may force me to paint my models because, well, not force me, but it might be the thing that makes me finally say, okay, you know what, I maybe I'll paint these, so I can have something really cool to look at. But yeah, not pre-painted models. It does take a step back. Obviously, if the models were pre-painted like HeroClix, it makes it even more accessible to newer players and to players who aren't really into miniatures games. But at the same time, painting the models yourself is a big part of a lot of miniature game fans. People who play miniature games like to paint their own models. It's not something they're forced to do. It's actually something that a lot of them take a lot of enjoyment and pride in. So making models unpainted actually is a positive probably to a lot of players or to some players or just collectors rather than having them all be pre-painted. But still, I know there's probably a lot of people who would rather the pre-painted because it's going to make life easier for them. And to be honest, I'm kind of one of those people. But that seems to be as much as we honestly know about Gundam Assemble. I know there's a little bit more information that's sort of been revealed, but nothing that really reveals too much about when the game's going to release, how to play it. I know there is a little information about the first couple maybe products that may be released. It seems as though that we're going to get themed products. So like say we have the original Gundam, Gun Kank, and Gun Cannon here. It seems as though maybe that those like eras of Gundam or teams of Gundam will come in like a set. So you can buy this set, probably these three Gundam here, and you get whatever you need to play with them. And then you may also want to buy, say, a Zaku set with Char Zaku in it, maybe. And then they'll come with that, maybe. And then maybe some a Wing Gundam set, or a what's the other one I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's slipping my mind. But yeah, so that's the kind of, or maybe Gundam Seed is what I'm thinking of. But anyway, that seems like what they're going to do in that sense. But still, there's not a ton of information out there as far as I know as the time I'm making this video anyway. If there's any more information that I'm missing, I would love to hear about it from you guys in the comment section below. If there's any other things you guys have noticed about this, I would love to hear about it as well. In this picture itself, I just literally, as I'm talking right now, I just realized this. They have circular bases to the Gundams models, which means that between they filmed this video and the previous video we just looked at, they decided to change whatever movement they were doing from circular to hexagonal. That could be the case, or it could be the case that they actually do provide two different bases. One for people who buy, say, who want to play the game, and more for people who are just wanting to paint them and use them as tokens or put them on their shelves. The second concept doesn't really make much sense to me because I feel like a hexagonal base would work just as well as a circular one would, but that could be what we're looking at right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be that this is an older video, but I would assume that's what it is. This is like some early concept models because it seems as though that Gundam Assemble and Gundam the trading card game have been something that they wanted to really side by side as a push for this tabletop Gundam scene together. It's a collaborative effort that even goes to the fact that they want you to use your miniatures as tokens, or with your tokens rather, when in reality that doesn't really, for as far as we know, it doesn't really seem to be that important. The point is that they want to tie these products together, get people who are into the card game, people who are into Gundam into the card game, or people who are into the card games into Gundam, and people who are into the Gundam or card games into the miniatures game, and so on and so forth. And hopefully the fans will cycle through it all and everybody will become part of the community, right? I get that concept. But anyway, if you guys have noticed anything else from these videos that I seem to have missed, let me know in the comment section below. If there's any information I'm missing that is out there somewhere, let the people in the comment section know. Tell me what you guys are hoping for from this game. Me, it's very simple. Cheap, affordable, fun. I like to say fast a lot of the time, but I'm okay with taking a little bit longer to play a card game or a miniatures game or a tabletop game of any kind. Not too long, obviously. I don't want to be there for hours upon hours. But, again, it doesn't matter if it's an hour-long gameplay. You kind of expect that when you're playing with minis, right? But fun, fast to learn at the very least, affordable, which means that I can pick up a starter set for a decent price. I can pick up a two-player starter set. Hopefully they release some of those, but I'm assuming that we're going to get individual starters. But release a two-player starter set, or rather the starter set, I'm going to pick it up for a decent price. Even if obviously release some expansions with really elaborate minis are going to, maybe take a couple extra dollars out of your pocket. At least so if I want to try the game, I can just throw out they're minis, so they're Gunpla. They're not going to be freaking $15 for a starter set, but throw out a little bit of money and be able to try out the game for the first time. But that's gonna be all for today's video. If I missed anything, if you guys have anything to say, comment it. Give a like, subscribe. Can't wait to see more from Gundam Assemble. I'm actually really excited for this game. Well, that's going to be all for now, but if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and watch some of our other videos that we've made on this channel. Also, give this video a like if you thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future content. And I hope to see you guys back at the Roost.